National Geographic Kids, weird but true. Gross. 300 slimy, sticky, and smelly facts. Houseflies vomit digestive juices onto their food, which liquefy their meals so they can suck them up. By age 70, the average person has shed 105 pounds, 48 kilograms of skin. A bus in the UK is powered by waste gases from human poop and rotting food scraps. That's gross. Rhinos poop in piles that are taller than a 2-year-old. The germiest places in a hotel room: light switches and TV remotes. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration allows up to 19 maggots and 24 mites in a small can of mushrooms. A college football player threw up on the ball during a championship game and then snapped it into the quarterback. In China, you can sip tea made from leaves fertilized by panda poop. No thanks. A flock of 50 Canada geese can produce 5,000 pounds of poop each year, about the same weight as 6 grand pianos. Look out below! A group of girls in Nigeria developed a pea-powdered generator that can provide 6 hours of power on 1 quart of urine. The main ingredient in bird's nest soup, a common dish in Southeast Asia, is bird spit. To test household deodorizers, researchers invented a stinky substance that smells like poop and rotting eggs. Dried frog guts are a delicacy in China. Head lice can crawl at a speed of about 9 inches per minute. Your heart creates enough pressure to squirt blood up to 30 feet. Your nose makes a fresh batch of mucus every 20 minutes. Hagfish escape predators like sharks by choking them with gallons of slime. Crocodiles can digest bones and horns. Manatees use their toots to move up and down in the water. Burrowing owls collect animal droppings and use them as bait to attract one of their favorite snacks: poop-seeking dung beetles. Uh-oh. The arms on an average family sofa have 12 times more bacteria than a toilet seat. The kissing bug gets its name because it often bites humans around the mouth. The corpse flower, which blooms once every few years, smells like rotting meat. A super colony of Argentine ants stretches 3,700 miles across Europe. Some species of horned toads can shoot a 3-foot stream of blood out their eyes. Among the artifacts at the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you will find jars of picked human skin and bedbugs extracted from a person's ear. Most people toot 6 to 20 times a day. Marine iguanas sneeze salt onto their heads to form small white wigs. Do you like my dew? The average belly button is home to 64 different species of bacteria. An entomologist let botfly larvae live under his skin for 2 months and then made a video of the maggot crawling out. The surface area of your small intestine is about the size of a tennis court. The bombardier beetle squirts a toxic, boiling hot fluid from its rear end. A dung beetle can move a ball of poop 50 times its own body weight. The tuft titmouse lines its nest with hair plucked from the tails of roadkill squirrels. There are more bacteria in your mouth than there are people living on Earth. Termites use their own poop as building materials for their nest. An Italian man once produced a burp lasting 1 minute and 13 seconds, the longest belch on record. The assassin bug stabs its prey, sucks out what it wants to eat, and wears the corpse on its back. A handshake spreads 20 times more germs than a fist bump, a study found. Sweat has no scent. Bacteria on your skin mix with sweat and make it stinky. Some mites feast on the ooze in rabbits' ears. To deter predators, opossums sometimes drool and lie stiffly, trying to look too sick to eat. Cough. The world's largest earthworm is about 3 feet long and sounds like a draining bathtub when moving through soil. That's gross. Roaches sometimes eat hair, sewage, and glue. Your brain is the texture of tofu. Lions cough up hairballs the size of hot dogs. You can see real shrunken heads at the museum in London. Larvae of the New World screw worm have a spiral shape that allows them to tunnel into flesh. Rats can't vomit. Sewer inspectors wade through raw sewage and dodge rats to fix cracked and clogged pipes. There are about 2 million rats in New York City. The Morbid Anatomy Museum in Brooklyn, New York, USA, once displayed a brooch made of human teeth. The world's largest collection of toenail clippings contains samples from 24,999 people. Some people can belch out burps registering more than 100 decibels. That's louder than a roaring motorcycle. A Venus flytrap can digest a frog. An assassin spider impales its victims, injects it with venom, and lets it dangle until it dies. Forensic entomologists study how bugs interact with dead bodies. According to a recent study, 1 in 5 adults has peed while swimming in a public pool. Found a warm spot. Some tiny snails can survive being eaten by birds and are found alive in their poop. A restaurant owner in England created the pie scraper, a burger that's 5 feet 4 inches tall, made from more than 18 pounds of meat and contains 30,000 calories. Bacteria can linger on airplane tray tables for 3 days. Some red-tinted foods, like candies, yogurt, and ketchup, get their bright hue from the crushed belly of a bug. In Vietnam, a serving of a snake's still-beating heart is considered a delicacy. In Alaska, you can snack on Eskimo ice cream, a frozen mix of reindeer fat, sea oil, ground fish, fresh berries, and snow. Excretions from a beaver's behind have been used to give food a strawberry or raspberry flavor. Some baked goods contain amino acids made from human hair. Much of Hawaii's beaches are made from the poop of parrotfish, sea urchins, and worms. At one time, European royalty took medicines made from human bones, blood, and fat to treat headaches and other ailments. You can eat a dessert called bloody poop out of a toilet-shaped bowl at the Modern Toilet restaurant in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Jell-O once came in coffee, celery, and seasoned tomato flavors. Mites live in the hair follicles of your eyelashes. Hakkarl, a national dish of Iceland, is made from rotten fermented shark meat. Paleoscatologists, scientists who study fossilized dung. One man's ear hairs measured 7.1 inches long. You can find a 40-year-old Twinkie at a high school in Maine, USA. It's housed in a glass box and it is surprisingly mold-free. In hot conditions, a lineman in football may lose up to 9 pounds of sweat in one game. A French company sells canned edible insects, including cheese and bacon-flavored water bugs, barbecue black scorpions, and wasabi mealworms. At bugs-themed restaurants, you can dine on grasshopper burgers, roast crickets, and ant lollipops. A man from India once sucked 509 fish through his mouth and snorted them out his nose in 1 hour. Baseball player Luis Gonzalez chewed bubblegum once sold at an auction for $10,000. The spitball banned almost a century ago was a baseball covered in saliva that made the ball harder to hit. Some baseball players pee on their hands to alleviate calluses, hard layers of skin. That's gross. Scuba divers in the Caribbean got caught in a 100-foot wide punadil, a whale of whale waste. Bed bugs, head lice, and fleas have been found preserved in ancient Egyptian tombs. A Missouri, USA barber created a hairball weighing 167 pounds and standing 4 feet tall. At the World Pigs Feet Eating Championship in New Jersey, USA, participants competed by eating boiled pig's parts sprayed with lemon juice. A German man sucked down 14 ounces of ketchup through a straw in just 32.37 seconds. A typical mattress contains between 100,000 and 10 million dust mites. In Wisconsin, USA, you can enter a cow chip throwing competition where contestants fling dried cow poop. A British man ate 36 live cockroaches in 1 minute. A 19th century Englishman named James Lucas didn't bathe for 25 years. A Canadian man made a video of himself popping a 20-year-old pimple. Wormsoles equals worms twisted into a pretzel shape and baked. Vampire finches drink the blood of their other birds. A jockey was once hit in the face by another horse's poop during a race he won anyway. A man in China pulled a car by hooking ropes onto his lower eyelids. A woman in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, has fingernails that are longer than your entire arm. A man nicknamed Angolan Jaw of Awe can open his mouth 6.7 inches wide enough to cram an entire soda can in sideways. During the 1500s, Brits soaked their fabrics in stale urine to help bind color dyes to cloth. The bags in Estonian bagpipes, called turripils, were originally made from seals' stomachs. An adult bladder can hold 2 cups of urine. In the 1700s, some people believed that the touch of a dead man's hand could cure cysts and warts. Some ancient Romans used powdered mouse brains as toothpaste. Women in ancient Rome dyed their hair with goat fat and ashes from burned wood. Ancient Rome used urine to whiten their teeth. In ancient Rome, people socialized at open-air public toilets, some of which could seat up to 80 people at a time. Instead of using toilet paper, ancient Romans would wipe with a shared sponge on a stick. A man in China once struck a total of 2,188 needles into his head and face. A woman in Chicago, Illinois, USA, can pop her eyeballs 0.47 inches out of her eye sockets. An Australian man collected his belly button lint for 26 years and plucked enough fluff to fill 3 jars. For her job as a foot care product tester, an Ohio, USA woman sniffed 5,600 feet. Vultures pee on their legs to lower their body temperature. As many as 1.2 million bacteria live on your toothbrush. In the 1800s, some dentists made dentures out of teeth stolen from the mouths of the dead. A sheep's stomach stuffed with the sheep's liver, lungs, and heart, plus onions, spices, and oatmeal, equals haggis, a national dish of Scotland. A camel's spit is partly digested food. It burps up and hurls when it feels threatened. A mouse can squeeze through a hole the size of a nickel. For rats, the hole needs to be the size of half a quarter. A clump of congealed cooking oil the size of a jumbo jet was once removed from London's sewer system. In medieval London, the streets were covered with poop, dead animals, and rotting food. The deceased body of 11th century English King William the Conqueror reportedly exploded as it was being stuffed into a coffin. A baby's first poop is black and sticky like tar. Many ribbon worms can regrow chopped off body parts into new worms. One 6-inch worm can turn into more than 200,000. Crocodiles sometimes foam around the eye when they eat. A fungus in the Brazilian rainforest invades ants' brains and turns them into zombies. Termites can toot so forcefully that their abdomens explode. Ancient Egyptians took baths in blood, believing it was good for their health. Ancient Egyptians tossed their waste into the Nile River and then used the same water for drinking and bathing. King Tut was buried with 145 pairs of underwear. To fight baldness, ancient Egyptians covered their heads with a mixture of with the fat of hippos, crocodiles, snakes, tomcats, and ibexes. To make a mummy, ancient Egyptians would first pull the brain of the deceased out through the nose. Tick birds eat flies, maggots, and ticks off the hides of rhinos. That's weird. Tick birds eat flies, maggots, and ticks off the hides of rhinos. That's weird. When you get a scrape in space, blood doesn't run down your skin. It forms into a blob over the cut. Vampire bats' only food is blood. An engineer invented a machine that turns poop into clean drinking water. A British man had a parasitic worm living in his brain for 4 years. Champion speed eater Matt Stoney can down 62 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. Thief ants eat kitchen grease and dead rodents. That's weird. 75% of Americans admit to using their phones in the bathroom. Durian, a tropical fruit found in Southeast Asia, has the texture of custard and smells like rotting garbage. A man in Maryland, USA, once plowed snow using a motorized toilet. American crocodiles throw up bits of food to attract fish they want to eat. Medieval women used sulfur to try to burn off their freckles. April 23rd is International Nose-Picking Day. Black pudding, a breakfast staple in England and Ireland, is sausage made from onion, fat, and pig's blood. Flushing the toilet with the lid up can propel bacteria onto nearby surfaces. A company in Brooklyn, New York, USA, specializes in scraping gum off city sidewalks. Scientists found an 1,000-year-old mummified monk inside a statue of a sitting Buddha. Hippos make their own sunscreen by using a thick red substance called blood sweat. Sharks pee through their skin. When you gotta go, you gotta go. After brushing their teeth, astronauts either swallow the toothpaste or spit it into a towel. Astronauts train in an air sickness-inducing flight simulator named the Vomit Comet. To make their pupils larger, a mark of beauty at the time, some medieval Italian women dropped the juice of the poisonous nightshade plant into their eyes. A museum about the Paris sewer system is located inside the Paris sewer. At a London cafe, diners eat in booths that used to be urinals. To stay warm in winter, children in England during the Middle Ages were often sewn into their clothes, not changing them for months at a time. Some ancient soldiers drank the blood of the first opponent they killed on the battlefield. A vomit collector gathers pellets regurgitated by owls and sells them for students to dissect. An Australian woman invented a maggot-breeding home appliance so people could dine on protein-rich larvae. Scientists can study pollution by examining the earwax of blue whales. The average home creates 40 pounds of dust every year. One speck of dust contains 40,000 dust mites. Dust mites eat the dead skin of pets and people. Monkeys pick dead skin, dirt, and bugs out of one another's fur. Yep, that's the spot. When dwarfs, boas, are threatened, their eyes fill with blood. Before toilets were developed, people emptied chamber pots filled with urine out their windows onto city streets. 10-inch-long giant African land snails were found eating stucco off the side of houses in Miami, Florida. Bedbugs poop blood spots near where they hide out and feed. High levels of methane gas released from the burps and toots of 90 cows caused a barn in Germany to explode. When attacked, sea cucumbers turn their bodies inside out and eject their guts. Ambergris equals the intestinal gunk of sperm whales that is used in some perfumes. An average adult pees enough every year to fill a 150-gallon home aquarium. Spanish ribbed newts can thrust their ribs through their skin and use them as weapons. Giraffes sometimes use their long tongues to clean their ears and noses. That's gross. Slugs breathe through a hole in the side of their bodies. 1 out of 10 British trains empties toilet waste right onto the railway tracks. A museum in Turkey displays an estimated 16,000 locks of hair left by its visitors. Droplets from your sneezes can hang in the air for 20 minutes. Australian wombats produce cube-shaped poop. Teenagers pick their noses an average of 4 times a day. That's gross. 43% of kids pick off their scabs. 10% of kids say they chew on their toenails. That's gross. Baby koalas eat pap, a soupy substance made from their mom's poop. A type of louse infects a fish's mouth, eats its tongue, and lives there as the fish's new tongue. To help swallow its meal, one species of frog pulls its eyes into the roof of its mouth. Your body produces up to 8 cups of spit a day. Leopard geckos pee solid crystals instead of liquid urine. Penguin parents regurgitate food into their babies' mouths. Sloths poop only once a week. That's gross. Chiggers bite you so they can liquefy and suck out your skin cells. The air you spew during a sneeze travels faster than a car racing down a highway. Vampire spiders eat blood and gored mosquito abdomens. Your small intestine is about 3.5 times the length of your body. Some sugar is filtered and bleached with charred animal bones. In ancient times, one remedy for treating blindness included pouring a mixture of ground pig's eyes and honey into the ear. In England, a vial of blood from former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill was put up for auction. To get rid of guinea worm, a parasite that can grow as long as 3 feet, you have to wait until it crawls out of a blister formed on your skin. Skipper caterpillars can shoot out poop pellets as far as 40 times their body length. Toe jam equals the sock lint, dirt, bacteria, skin cells, and fungus that builds up between your toes. In Japan, you can get a spa treatment in which snails crawl across your face and leave trails of slime. After getting a frog sheds its skin, it eats it. In the 1800s, some people used earwax as lip balm. One species of turtle pees from its mouth. That's gross. The acid in your stomach can dissolve metal. Hookworms can enter your body through your feet and grow in your intestines. Turkey vultures can detect the odor of rotting flesh from more than a mile away. Cockroaches can live for weeks without a head. A type of bee feeds in human tears. A man successfully treated his intestinal disease by ingesting 1,500 parasitic worm eggs. Hair grows everywhere on your body, except for your palms, lips, eyelids, and the soles of your feet. 95% of people don't wash their hands long enough to kill infectious germs after using the toilet, and 10% don't wash their hands at all. Following the 5-second rule, a study found that 99% of bacteria attach to food the second it hits the floor. Bites from fire ants cause pus-filled blisters that can last for a week. British scientists discovered 160 million-year-old fossilized reptile vomit. The same bacterium found in your sweaty sneakers is used to ferment Limburger cheese. A museum's giant inflatable dog poop sculpture blew away and brought down power lines. King Louis the 16th's toilet was designed to look like a wooden throne. It is believed that the famous French leader would relieve himself when conducting court sessions. Sea pig equals a type of sea cucumber that feasts on whale carcasses that have fallen to the ocean floor. Yum. Some women in ancient Egypt used eye makeup made from crushed ant eggs. A woman in 17th century France reportedly shed horns, including one 12 inches long, from her forehead. Bathing was once considered bad for your health. Boogers are the dust, pollen, sand, dirt, and other materials that get trapped by your mucus. During battles, medieval knights had to relieve their bladders and bowels inside their armor. A company in Wales makes paper out of sheep poo. Peacocks, cooked in their feathers, were served at medieval banquets. That's gross. About 1 in 5 people have dropped their phone into a toilet. Don't look at me. A chemical found in antifreeze is used to thicken some salad dressings. Doctors in ancient Peru drilled holes in patients' skulls to relieve their headaches. Snail slime was used as cough syrup in the Middle Ages. When the city of Seattle, Washington, USA, decided to clean 20 years' worth of buildup off the famed Pike Place gum wall, it removed more than 2,000 pounds of gum. A British man found in a dead mouse baked into a loaf of bread he was using to make sandwiches. People once spread cow poop on their floors to discourage disease-carrying fleas. It didn't work. That's weird. Picking your nose in public was acceptable during the Middle Ages. Ancient Romans treated itches with lotion made from the brains of horned owls. Step away from the owl. Fried grasshoppers are said to taste like spicy popcorn. Ancient Greek doctor Hippocrates diagnoses patients by tasting their earwax and smelling their poop. Some experts claim that the giant water bug tastes like a Jolly Rancher. An eyeball the size of a softball once washed up on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA. In the Welsh sport of bog snorkeling, contestants compete to swim the fastest through cold, murky, foul-smelling water. U.S. government regulations allow up to 1 rodent hair in every 3.5 ounces of peanut butter sold. There may be up to 30 fly eggs in every 3.5 ounces of pizza sauce. Large gobs of tangled worms once fell from the sky in Jennings, Louisiana, USA. Fish scales are sometimes used to make shimmery lipstick and nail polish. A woman won an annual booger shooting contest by sending her snot almost 20 feet across a room. Doctors removed a 9-pound hairball from a teenage girl's stomach. A man's ear canal became infested with hundreds of maggots after a housefly laid eggs in it while he slept. Sweetbreads equals fried glands or organs of cows, pigs, or lambs. Elephant boogers can be as big as your fist. For more than 30 years, a British man has eaten a diet of roadkill meat, whipping up dishes like fox lasagna and frog leg stir-fry. A woman spent 33 days in a room filled with more than 5,000 scorpions. A man once devoured 17.7 pounds of cow brains in 15 minutes. A leech can fill itself with up to 5 times its body weight in blood. A Scottish woman found a 3-inch leech living inside her nose. Doctors used to use leeches for bloodletting, draining a person's blood, to reduce fevers. In the Middle Ages, leech collectors would wade in ponds, let leeches attach to their bare legs, and then sell them for medical use. The world's largest leech can grow to be as long as 2 pencils. Hot earthworm soup was a traditional treatment for fevers in ancient China. Some hospitals used flesh-eating maggots to treat infected wounds. The annual Bug Bowl competition in Indiana, USA features a cricket spitting contest. You can see real human and animal bodies preserved in plastic at the Planetarium in Grebben, Germany. If it weren't for a layer of sticky mucus on its walls, your stomach would digest itself. The entire town of Rotorua, New Zealand, known as the stink capital of the world, smells like rotten eggs. A performance artist had a third ear implanted on his forearm. An Australian artist makes jewelry out of human hair, teeth, and nail clippings. Most of the dust flecks you see in a sunbeam or shed dead skin. A California, USA man made a bologna, cheese, and lettuce sandwich in 1 minute 57 seconds using only his feet. The Rotten Sneaker Contest offers cash prizes to kids with the stinkiest shoes. A Canadian man can drill a 4.5-inch drill bit into his nose. Catgut equals a tough cord made from animal intestines used to string tennis rackets and violins. An English artist created the boggy ball, a mound of dried up boogers he spent 2 years collecting. Seal eyeballs are considered a special treat for Inuit children in northern Canada. A company is building houses in Indonesia using bricks made of cow dung. Old underwear can be recycled as stuffing for couches and car seats. A Burmese python once exploded after trying to digest an alligator. In the 19th century, a rat catcher earned money by collecting the rodents with his bare hands. The largest organism on Earth is the humongous fungus. Some sea slugs shoot toxic snot at their enemies. The Japanese term oroderugi, dancing eating, means swallowing a live fish that's still squirming in your mouth. A company sells scorpion lollipops in flavors such as banana, blueberry, and apple. Astronauts have left nearly 100 bags of poop, urine, and vomit on the surface of the moon. In some parts of China, people eat monkey brains with a side of pickled ginger and fried peanuts. Burgers made of crushed flies are popular in Lake Victoria, Africa. A performer nicknamed Mr. Methane can toot the tune of the British national anthem. A man had 13 pounds of warts surgically removed from his body. In 1889, an inventor patented a locket you could use to stash your used chewing gum. You can brush your teeth with toothpaste flavored like curry. At Thanksgiving, one company sells a limited edition soda flavored like turkey and gravy. Natto equals a fermented soybean dish said to smell like sweaty socks. One candy company sells bacon-flavored gumballs. An Italian fashion designer made dresses out of deli meats. A student in England soaked in a bathtub full of cold baked beans for 2 hours. A man once buried himself in more than 10,000 earthworms and then ate some of them to break free. A designer invented a lamp that runs on human blood. Doctors once discovered a plant growing in a 4-year-old boy's nose. Doctors can cure intestinal infections by transplanting a healthy person's poop into an infected person's gut. An American long-distance runner had his toenails permanently removed. Thousands of rats run amok inside the Karni Mata temple in India. It is considered good luck if one scampers across your toes. Watch out! Some Japanese ice cream shops offer novelty flavors such as slow-boiled egg and cow tongue. A Canadian artist uses chewed gum to make portraits of celebrities. 25% of bottled water is just tap water. For $425, you can buy a pill that would make your poop sparkly gold. The end.